We start with the chair of the Democratic National Committee, Ken Martin. Ken, thank you for being on. What's your reaction to this breaking story?
Well, look, I said this all along. We're going to fight fire with fire. I'm proud of the Texas Dems for actually breaking quorum here. Our democracy is literally under assault by Donald Trump, Greg Abbott, and the Republicans who know that they are on a track to lose the House majority next year. So what do? They cheat. They rigged the system. That's all they have left. It's not a surprise to me. It shouldn't be a surprise to any Americans at this point who have watched this Trump administration fail time and time again. But let me tell you, right now it requires all of us throughout this country who care about our Constitution and the rule of law to actually stand up with Texas Democrats right now. I want to thank Governor Pritzker for hosting the Texas Democrats in this moment. And of course, we continue to stand with them. We've been organizing all this time alongside them to make sure that they were prepared for this moment. And as I said, we're going to continue to push the case on this because what they're doing is wrong, and we have to save our democracy right now.
So let's follow up on that. What specifically is the DNC planning to do to help this Democratic coalition to keep Democratic seats in Texas and all across the country?
Well, look, I was the first one on the ground several weeks ago after Greg Abbott decided to go down this path. We've been organizing alongside all the different advocacy groups and, of course, the Texas Democratic Party and standing with Leader Wu and the Texas Dems as well as the Senate Dems in their efforts to figure out how to best fight back here. Our party actually has put our organizing capacity and our communications efforts into supporting the Texas Democrats on the ground, and we'll continue to stand with them in this moment. So it's important for all of us right now to, do everything we can to fight fire with fire as our Constitution and our democracy are under assault. And as I said, I've been talking with Democratic governors throughout the country, making sure that we're prepared to continue to fight back against this craven power grab by Trump and the Republicans. Look, whether it's litigation, whether it's organizing on the ground, whether it's standing with those Texas Dems who will now be in Chicago, and whether it's Democratic governors throughout the country taking action, we're going to do everything we can to fight back against this, Rev.
Now, Ken, to clarify, breaking the quorum is when the State House will lack the minimum number of lawmakers needed to conduct business. And the proposed redistricting map being pushed by Republicans in Texas right now is threatening to redraw the Democrat-led seats that is in that state. One of the biggest changes potentially affecting Democratic Congressman Greg Casar's seat, which could set up a primary with another Democratic Congressman, Lloyd Doggett, who has also joined me on this show yesterday. And it's also a threat to Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett's seat. How can we save this Democratic talent?
Well, look, as I said, right now there are Democratic governors looking at what they can do to stop this. Of course, the quorum break slows this down, and hopefully Republicans in Texas will actually wake up to what's happening here. At the end of the day, this is a craven power grab by Donald Trump, who knows that he's headed towards a big loss next year in the midterm elections, and they're trying to rig the system again. And I believe there's a lot we can do right now. Look, the map that they put forward is a clear violation of the Voting Rights Act. There are, I believe this is unconstitutional. We're certainly going to be, standing with folks who will be litigating this in the courts. We will continue to organize on the ground in Texas, and we will continue to support the House Dems as they have broke quorum right now. And I just want to say to all those House Democrats who have done this, thank you. Thank you for your courage. It's no small feat to stand up and to leave your families, your loved ones, to actually stand up for democracy. This was a big deal for them, and I just want to thank them. And I think it's on all of us right now to support them in their efforts to stay out as long as they can to keep breaking quorum here so we can stop this disastrous map from becoming law.
Now, on Friday, the Supreme Court issued a new briefing in a Louisiana redistricting case, suggesting this could further weaken the landmark Voting Rights Act that you referred to. Are you confident that the Democratic coalition, especially leaders in other Democratic states, can counter the Republicans' efforts to gain power and control over voting rights?
Well, listen, there's no guarantees, but you have to fight, Rev. You have to fight. You know this better than anyone as a civil rights leader. We have to stand up right now. Truly, what we're seeing is a violation of the Voting Rights Act. It's a violation of civil rights. It's disenfranchising so many people throughout the state of Texas. And, you know, at the end of the day, if we're not willing to stand up and fight right now, what the hell are we willing to fight for? Because at the end of the day, what they're doing, again, is unconstitutional. It's wrong. And it's, you know, we have a responsibility as Democrats right now, I would say as Americans, to stand up for our Constitution. Either we are a country that's going to govern through rule of law and believe in due process and believe in voting rights and civil rights and our Constitution, or we're not. And I'll tell you, that's what this fight is about. It's not about Democrats or Republicans. It's about one party basically throwing the Constitution into the garbage can. We have a responsibility to stand up and fight for our constitutional rights right now, and that's what this is about.
Now, switching gears, MAGA Incorporated, the main super PAC associated with Trump, reported nearly $200 million in the bank as it looks ahead to the 2016 midterms, in which control of Congress is at stake. Meanwhile, earlier this month, we learned that the campaign arm of the House GOP has outraised Democrats in the second quarter. Are you currently confident in Democrats' financial standing to take on Republicans in the upcoming midterms?
Here's what I would say, Rev. You know, it shouldn't surprise anyone after Donald Trump and the Republicans just gave the richest people in this country a giant tax break on the backs of hardworking Americans, that those same billionaires are now turning around and filling the coffers of the Republican campaign arms. Look, there's no amount of money that Donald Trump could raise that's going to change the fact that he has low approval ratings, and his policies have absolutely been destroying the lives of millions of Americans and shattering communities throughout this nation. Look, at the end of the day, there is a huge backlash already on this big, ugly betrayal of a bill. We've seen that backlash result in low approval ratings. They continue to drop as Donald Trump continues to fail the American people. You know this, Rev. He promised people he was going to make their lives more affordable. He hasn't delivered on any of the promises he's made. So it should surprise no one that he's flush with cash from all of his billionaire friends, right? They already bought the federal government, and now they're giving him a big reward for it.
Now, finally, it's been roughly half a year into your tenure as DNC chair. Right now, the Democrats have the lowest rating from voters in 35 years, according to recent polling from the Wall Street Journal. I'm hearing complaints all over the country as I travel with Nash Action Network or on my radio show that people feel the party's not fighting hard enough, not standing up for the constituents that have been loyal to them, the black community, LGBTQ, Latinos, others. What's your reflection on the state of the party in this moment?
Well, look, I think we, have a long ways to go for sure. I've said that from the beginning, right? But we've made a lot of great progress over these last 6 months. There's no doubt about it. We're leading in the congressional generic ballot. Our poll numbers have increased month after month. And at the end of the day, people are anxious, they're nervous for sure, and they want to see Democrats in the fight. And what I've seen over the last several months is Democrats in that fight. Whether it's our senators and congressional members using the power of their voice and their platforms to move public sentiment, whether it's our attorney generals filing lawsuit after lawsuit to take on this corrupt administration, whether it's our governors or our local elected officials creating safe spaces for targeted communities and vulnerable communities in this country. I'm really proud of Democrats who are engaged in this fight, who are fighting back, who are using the power they have right now to actually organize people. And look, speaking of organizing, we've organized 138 town halls around the country, Rev, to make sure we're amplifying the stories of people's pain and anguish in this country right now. We have been out there launching our summer organizing program, investing in races up and down the ballot and winning many of those races and overperforming in all of them, right? Look, people at the end end of the day are anxious and nervous in this country, and I get it. But guess what? The Democratic Party, our elected officials, and candidates throughout this country are standing up and fighting back, and I would ask people to join us in that fight.
All right. Thank you for being with us, as always, DNC Chair Ken Martin.